What's going on, Gemini? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really does mean a lot to me, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. Now, the theme of this week's monthly spread is going to be a monthly check-in, Gemini. You know, with everything going down, all these planetary shifts, we just want to make sure you're doing well and get you prepared for what's to come. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems. Feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Gemini. Now, Gemini, with this spread, I'm going to be going till Higher Self says stop. We're just going with the flow. And just so you all know, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to situation as they make sense for your situations, okay? And then lastly, the decks that I'm working with. This one is the Tarot of the Divine deck. And the other one is the Anatomy of a Witch deck. And I'll include links for these decks and other ones that I like down in the description box below. So definitely check that out if you're interested there, Gemini. Interesting. You know, Gemini, I feel like with how this energy is looking here, because one, you got my ruler here, the High Priestess in reverse. Well, really, we have everything reversed. It's a small reversal storm. But no need to panic. Because I feel like that, Gemini, that some of us may be trying to figure out where we want to invest our energies into. You know, this could be, for example, let's say, for example, if we're not feeling satisfied with our job or, you know, our profession, for example. You know, this could be maybe the actual profession, or maybe it's just the physical place. I feel, Gemini, if this is something that you've been kind of like weighing the pros and cons of staying with this thing, you know, I feel that this is something where really pay attention to what your intuition and what your gut is telling you. And I know that may kind of feel like seem like a no-brainer, but sometimes, Gemini, I find that even when we follow our guts, or when we listen to our gut, sometimes that may not feel like the most practical approach at the moment. And it's not to say that whatever you're trying to do in substitution for that is not going to support you, but maybe it feels like maybe you've invested, like already been, let's say if we're at a place of business, maybe you've been with this place for a while. We don't want to jeopardize like maybe retirements or any sort of like pensions or anything along those lines. Or maybe whatever that is. You know, I feel like sometimes we let one form of stability compromise, I feel like, another form, Gemini. Like, let's say if you know, as long as we have like all the, let's say with job, you know, let's say if we have all of our financial security, it's okay that we're not, you know, maybe putting our dreams on the sidelines. You know, we'll do that after we retire, you know, or any kind of stuff like that, Gemini, where I feel like if you've been thinking or been realizing that you've been maybe ignoring your gut and putting that stuff to the sideline, you know, I feel like explore that part of you that you may have been kind of ignoring, maybe. And if this is a job thing, Gemini, you know, this is not me saying, you know, quit your job. Now, if you can, I'm always a big fan of that. You know, if you can find a way to make it so that, you know, if you have maybe enough saved up so that you can pursue this gut feeling, you know, this calling, yeah, you already know I'm about that. But if this is something where it doesn't feel like, if we need to ease into it, Gemini, maybe see if you can work something with your place. Maybe get it to where you go down to like part-time. Or maybe just like, I don't want to say do less work, but more so, I imagine you're amazing at your job, Gemini. And I feel like that maybe if this is something where if your heart's not in it, giving what is needed to get the job done, but to maybe take that little extra, that above and beyond that you normally would do at your job, and invest that little pocket of energy into this calling here, because that's where really I feel like the high priestess and this and, Gemini, this really can be bigger than just like work stuff. This can be where if we've been wondering if we're investing, if like maybe how it could be, let's see, like for example, maybe like our diet, maybe this is something we've been debating. Maybe let's say, I don't know, we've been noticing that meat's not been resonating with us. Maybe we want to try a vegetarian diet, but maybe, with families and stuff, we figure like, oh, I have to do like a separate meal and I have to do all this extra stuff. But, Gemini, because here's what happens, when I feel, or here's what I feel like happens when we continue to ignore like our high priestess calling. It gets to this place, with this 5 of Wands in reverse. I feel like that if we ignore that calling, or and see, where that energy is trying to lead us, it's going to lead to this internal conflict. And I don't feel like it's something that'll be loud at first, but it'll be something where I feel like over time there will be like moments when we look back and think like, man, I wish I would have invested more time doing this, or I wish I would have maybe switched this diet now, because here we are at retirement age, let's say, for example, and things are just getting a little bit harder to incorporate these maybe new routines or whatever, these things that we're trying to get your attention, Gemini. It just makes it harder to I hope this is making sense, because it's like it just feels like that there's this conflict, it's like you want to do something but we keep putting that on the back burner, or and I feel like it's time to start putting your stuff first, Gemini, and start investing in some things that resonate with you, that are going to lift you up and get you feeling at your best here. Because even when I'm thinking with this high priestess, she's represented by the moon, and the moon is nothing if not an expert on cycles. And when I bring in up cycles, we thinking of just this month alone, Gemini, a week from yesterday, depending on when you're watching this on the 7th, Saturn moved into Pisces, so that's a big shift. Saturn moves every three-ish years or so. And then we have Pluto that's going to be moving towards the end of the month on the 23rd of March. So that's going to be probably one of the biggest ones of this month, probably of the year, just because Pluto only changes every 20-ish years. So this is considering it's moving into Aquarius. There are going to be some change, like some big changes, Gemini. So this is a time that if this is not a time, I feel like, to ignore things that your higher self is trying to guide you to, that gut feeling inside. Investigate that, because I do feel like that over time, if we keep ignoring that, it's not that I don't feel like you can incorporate this thing, or your life's not going to improve whenever we choose to start this, but it's just going to make it trickier to incorporate than when the energy was at its most potent. So yeah, let's see what else what other stuff is going on here, Gemini. Oi. Oh, okay, we're keeping all that, Gemini. Look at that, I got a whole treasure trove here. And this makes sense, because, hold on, we really about to talk about this, Gemini. Because Queen of Coins, let's see, where do we even want to start with this? Let's start with this Knight of Cups. Oh, the Knight of Cups. I really like I really enjoy him. The Knight of Cups is the type that he follows his heart. You know, he really isn't interested in doing anything if his heart's not in it, you know? And that may seem like a bit extreme, but that's where he finds his abundance. That's where his wheel of fortune, his destiny, all of that. That's where that lies. And when he focuses on what his heart wants, and, you know, listens to his intuition, you know, not tuning that in, that's where we get all these, that's where we find balance, Gemini. And with the Temperance showing up in reverse, and this is a sick combination here, Gemini, I feel that if we were to find our way to balance, you know, and really doing some, really working in, I feel like some play time for you, some stuff that you can enjoy, so that you can just enjoy this life, Gemini. You know, I feel like it doesn't always have to be about the material things and the resources. And listen, it's not that I'm saying you're materialistic. It's just that sometimes our actions can be so geared towards that security that we forget to have fun in the balance too. We get so, everything becomes so serious and so geared towards the obligations that we just, all I'm asking is just some moderation, Gemini, you know, feeding in some work time for you. Because this is, when I was talking about this sick combo, Temperance and Wheel of Fortune, Sagittarius, this card is one of Sagittarius, this Sagittarius main card. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. In Gemini, more cyclical stuff, you know, with the Wheel of Fortune. I find if we were to take this period of time, you know, I feel like the energy is ripe. This is a great month, especially too, you know, when I'm thinking about Mars. Mars has been in your sign for a while, but now we're going to get ready for Mars to move into Cancer. And I feel like that's very, very Knight of Cups type of energy. Mars can be very, you know, kind of aggressive in the action, but it's going to be more kind of watered down a little bit with that Cancerian energy. And it's going to be more focused on what we're feeling, you know. It's going to be less about that just kind of like go, go, go drive. But now this will give you a chance, Gemini, to really tune into your emotions and figure out what are some areas in our lives that we haven't nurtured, or that's been wanting that attention. And I feel that when you focus on that, getting yourself back harmonized, that's when your abundance is really going to start coming in here. Because, you know, we're getting to an age where I feel like that one, collaboration is going to be a big thing, but two, I feel like really following your heart and allowing yourself some time to play and to relax and to express yourself. Because I mean, you've probably already noticed, Gemini, with you know, I don't personally watch the news, but you know, I've been hearing through the grapevine and through the Soul family that, you know, some of the stuff that's going down, and where, yes, this stuff can seem, you know, really big, there's also a lot of good that's going down here, Gemini. And I feel like that in the midst of all the panic, you know, it's like, you know, usually when we got big stuff like that, we always want to hyper focus on the bad stuff. But Gemini, it's not just all with this Queen of Coins in reverse. You know, I feel like this is not just a time where it's just like, you know, things are just collapsing and it's a take type of thing, you know. This is a time where we're going to need healers and, you know, more kind of playful and kind of creative energy and uplifting and motivational type of energy. Oh, and there goes the camera. But it's fine, Gemini. You know, we're just going to go ahead and turn that off. That's so weird, Gemini. You know, and I'm going to take that as a sign. We need more healers, Gemini. We need more Queen of Coins. And, you know, I feel like that this is a good time for you, Gemini, as well, when I'm thinking about the Queen of Coins. She is a very resourceful figure. And I feel like that this type of resources is finding, you know, different areas that you can, again, you know, just have some fun. Maybe going to, you know, maybe finding yourselves like and I know, you know, things are, you know, with health stuff, you know, you be mindful with your health, but maybe finding like a group thing, you know, maybe doing like, if we can do, I don't know, maybe some sort of like painting group together, or just like maybe going out and discovering different ways that you can, if you don't feel like you can, if you don't have like the materials at your disposal, let's say if you've been feeling like you want to maybe paint something, or maybe sculpt or craft, looking for different resources around you, and I get if we don't want to be around like big groups, maybe look into investing in some stuff yourself. And I don't feel like it's something that you need to go over the top with, Gemini, but just something that you think, what, and when we're thinking about doing some fun stuff for ourselves, Gemini, I get where, we have bills and we got to think about groceries and all of those things, but we want to look at when we're thinking about having fun for ourselves and doing things for ourselves. I find that it pays to look at it as we're investing in ourselves. We're not splurging or anything along those lines, because then it feels like that it's a burden, or that it's really extra treating yourself, when really it's a requirement. It's a necessity, in order for you to feel this balanced here, to get these energies upright, for your intuition to be flowing well, and for you to be feeling in harmony with yourself and the energies. We have to take this time and feed into ourselves. And really with these two kind of real powerful cycle cards here, Gemini, there's no time like the present. This is something that we can get started on this thing whenever you're ready. This could be maybe, again, to maybe you want to start on a new workout routine, make more time for running, or, for working out in general, or making more time for reading, or meditating or something. Or maybe you want to make more time to do some like travel, Gemini. I'm thinking with the Temperance card, Temperance and Jupiter, they can embody travel as well. So maybe you want to take time to make some trips, maybe with this Queen of Coins, get out in nature, I was going to say go to the jungle. If you go to the jungle, Gemini, you know how I feel about that. Go live your life. But maybe just getting out in some nature, whatever that looks like for you. Okay, let's see. More. Oh, Gemini, let's get some tea here. Okay. You got the four of coins here. But you got it in reverse, Gemini. And I like that because really, as the theme of the message has been, if there are any type of things that are holding you back, that whatever that looks like, this could be, if we're just feeling that there's not any type of balance, or that you may feel that you're feeling constricted in a certain area where you feel like there's just not enough time in the day, or something along those lines. Gemini, I find that it's about, with this Four of Coins, it's about making moments, because sometimes, in the craziness of life, I get where sometimes it can feel hard to carve out pockets of time for ourselves. But Gemini, this doesn't have to be where it's anything super, like a whole bunch of moments. This could be where, if you can take the day, if you can take a sabbatical, whatever you need. But let's start small, Gemini. If you can carve out, I say 10 minutes, because I was going to say 5, but 5, that's not really enough to really treat yourself. But if you can take 10 minutes a day to do just something for you, and that even feels kind of small, Gemini, but I get where life, it can get a little busy, and maybe this is just something that we work into becoming a routine. Maybe we start with 10, and then as we find like, oh, I like treating myself, and I like this pamper. Ooh, maybe take another day to do some Empress work. Then maybe we increase it to 15, and then heck, maybe we're at 30, and then who knows, Gemini? Next thing, you're carving out an hour, and then think about how that'll work out during the week, Gemini, because now even if you get to like an hour a day, and again, this could be like little pockets throughout the day. Now you've spent a work day during the week, spending a little time on yourself. At least a good 8 hours have gone to you. And how does that feel? Take a moment and process that, Gemini. I just got chills even just thinking about that. Take a moment and just realize that, the time that you invest in yourself, it really does compound over time. refinement over practice, you know? And Gemini, I really, when you just start feeling, start fulfilling those needs, those calling, those yearnings that may be kind of speaking out to you. Who knows where it'll take you, Gemini? Because this could be like, if we've had any sort of like hobbies that we've been wanting to pick up, maybe because Gemini, you're a great communicator. Your sign is one fantastic for that. Maybe this is something if you've been thinking about doing, like maybe you've been wanting to do like radio broadcasting or podcasting or maybe YouTube or maybe something in kind of like a public speaking phase, or I don't know, maybe wanted to even pick up like a course for that. Even maybe Gemini, I'm even thinking too, with this energy, this hype, really all this combo here, this studious energy, maybe this is something where we want to, pick up some courses. Maybe you want to go back to school, whatever that looks like, Gemini. But I feel that when you really start getting your Knight of Cups on and start pursuing this stuff, life opens up for you in a way, and opportunities and resources and different things start just appearing for you when we just take that time and focus and really listen to you. What I really like about this Wheel of Fortune is it reminds us that when you think of like a spider, because I don't know if you can tell, this guy has got like, he's kind of hanging on a spider web here, all his limbs, but when you think about a spider, all they really do is just, they pick a spot, they trust their intuition, they pick a spot that resonates with them, and then they work on their web, and then abundance just comes to them. But it's working on, and I mean, I'm just saying that, I'm assuming that's what spiders love doing, working on their webs. And even when you think about their webs, Gemini, when you think about sometimes how the rain might hit it or how the dew will settle on there, the sunshine hits it, it's beautiful, and that's where I feel like, it's working on its craft. And then when we focus on us, it does, abundant, we become a magnet, because that's where we're pouring all our energy into things that we love, and then we attract love, and the next thing you know, your work has lined up with what you love. Maybe you can do this thing full time. Now we've attracted like people with common interest, and then it's a whole beautiful thing what I feel happens with the Wheel of Fortune. But the Wheel of Fortune does remind us that this is stuff that's in our, like, it's up to us to make the most out of Wheel of Fortune. And it's one of those things too, I'm thinking with the High Priestess, that there are going to be some days when you're feeling on and things are fantastic, and there are some other days where it may feel like a lot. You might be feeling imbalanced. You might be, the energies may be off. And when that happens, Gemini, sit with that for a second. Observe the energies. Observe this feeling that's going down, but don't attach to it. And Gemini, if we're not even sure, like if we've been feeling these things, but we're not sure where it's trying to guide us, I find a really kind of helpful thing to do is to kind of journal down your thoughts. Maybe if we're, sometimes I find in the and I've talked about this before, with your ruler being Mercury. Mercury controls how we communicate, how we think, all of that. And so you being one of the signs that it rules, you just have like an overactive mind already. You just have thoughts just going, and it's very intelligent. But sometimes with the flood of ideas and inspirations, and possibly, it can get where it can seem like a lot. There's a bunch going on. So that may be something to try, just kind of sitting down and getting our thoughts down together. Or maybe you want to do like a vision board. Maybe think about some dreams that might have been resonated with you, kind of put some photos up and see where that takes you. Post it at a place, maybe in your workspace or maybe by your bed or whatever, Gemini, and see where that takes you. Like I feel like that something fantastic, really, I feel like can come from this more. Okay. Okay. More. Let's see what we're finishing up here, Gemini. Interesting. You got, so we're finishing up here, and I like this little combo here. You got the Five of Swords here, and then you got the Seven of Swords in reverse. And I feel like with this, I feel like with both of these, Gemini, you know, if there's something that we have been ignoring, you know, or, you know, that we've been, oh, well, I'll get, you know, well, it's like, I want to take time for this, but, you know, with everything going down, I'll get to it eventually, you know, or I'll put, you know, of soon, you know, real soon, you know, I'll get started here. Don't you worry. Gemini, I feel like if we've been doing that and been putting ourselves, we've just been putting our stuff, putting it just in the back seat, you know, I do feel that that the energy's feeling feeling ripe, Gemini, to just start putting yourself first, you know, to start putting some of those ideas to practice. And, you know, they may feel silly at first, you know, maybe this is something where it's like, oh, I don't know. Give it a try, Gemini, because you never know what tools you may learn from this. Because the Seven of Swords, you know, this can be a card of like lying, and this is something where, you know, I was saying, be honest with yourself. You know, if we have noticed that we haven't been taking time to do some stuff that we enjoy, carving out some more space for that. It's okay to, you can still be of service to others by being of service to yourself, you know, because I feel like really in order for us to be the most effective in helping, you know, and to really be of service for others, we have to, this is where we need to get the practice, you know, it starts here, and we need to, you know, accumulate the skills with this vessel here before we go imparting any sort of like wisdom or you know, or anything that we have. Because really, if we don't practice on loving ourselves and taking time for ourselves, Gemini, I mean, you could tell somebody to do the same, but really it doesn't have the same amount of impact if you're also practicing what you preach. You know what I mean? So that's where I feel like that these last little thoughts here are saying, Gemini, let's put some of this stuff into practice. And, you know, Gemini, don't worry about what others may think about this situation, because maybe you're the type that is just like a yes person. You know, you're just used to, oh yeah, sure, I'll help you. You know, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do that, I'll do that. And maybe you're worried that, you know, maybe you'll disappoint someone, but Gemini, they'll get over it. If it's really is like, and here's the thing, if you go to tell this person like, oh no, I think I'm gonna I would, you know, normally, yes, I would love to, but I need a little me time right now. It's like, oh, come on, Gemini. If they give you a hard time for that, stand firm, Gemini. It's just like, hey, it's like, you know, every other day, I got your back. But right now it's here. I got to take care of the twins right now, you know, like we got to get everything back in harmony, you know, because sometimes, you know, when we're split all over the place, Gemini, you know, we got to rein that energy back in and, you know, corral the twins sometimes, you know, get them back on the same page. So let's get some oracle cards here, Gemini, so I can get you out of here. And Gemini, this is going to be a big month for everyone, you know, with everything. This is going to be energetically just like a really busy month. I mean, yep. You got the Death card in reverse here first. And Gemini, this is something where with everything that's going down, we really want to be receptive to our intuition right now and really tune in. If there's something that your body is trying to guide you somewhere, tune into that and see where that goes, because there's growth that's trying to come out of this, Gemini. If we resist this, you know, put this, you know, and stay in this energy, then our tree's just growing. It's growing in the ground as opposed to flourishing, Gemini. We want our tree to grow. When we're going through these transformations, we want to be able to get back up and greet the sun, you know, because the tree's going to have a hard time growing underground. And I know that I'm being a little silly, but it's true, Gemini. You know, we want to embrace those feelings, those urges to try something new or to go, you know, explore a different side of yourself, or, you know, something like maybe like a hobby or a passion that you may not have, that you might have put on the back burner. You know, it's trying to get us to to the best versions of ourselves, Gemini. Look at that. Both? Okay, more. Let's switch back over. Oh, right. Right. So, let's get you out the way. Cameras. Oh, okay. So, see, Gemini, we just have fun. We play around a little bit because you got the play card in reverse. And this is what I've been talking about. If we haven't made some time to just have some fun, and again, whatever that looks like for you, go ride a bike, or go chase the animals. I'm trying to see what else this card is doing. Go have like a campfire, whatever it is that you haven't been doing. Get back in. The last card you got is a touch card. Get back in touch. Oh, see, look at that. Touch card trying to put hands on yourself, Gemini, but get back in touch with yourself. Find the areas that have been neglected and then nurture that, and really give that time. If we've been feeling stiff, get the body moving. Let's do some yoga. You don't got to do anything super strenuous, Gemini, if that's the case. Or, again, if we need to make more time for fun, do something fun and make it work for you. Just any little thing in Gemini. Listen, I get it, if we have like kids, family, all that stuff. I absolutely understand. But you and them need to understand as well, where yes, we are growing as a soul family. We also have our own individual journeys, and every now and again, we lose ourselves. We don't see ourselves, Gemini, and we need to find ourselves again. Take a moment and get our energies back in line. So, really, take this time and just really be with your energy and just enjoy and have fun, Gemini, with everything that's going down. Yes, can it be like super stressful and whatnot? Could we be in panic mode? Sure, but I feel like this allows you to even bring it back to the present, because even with, the world could feel like it's on fire, but it's like, really, presently, how is everything right now? Solid. Nothing's on fire. I'm with it. Zen. You know what? Now we're reading. Now we're just kicking back on our chair and just chilling like the high priestess there. So, all right, Gemini, I'm gonna leave that there. But yeah, hopefully you like that. Interesting, but I definitely feel like this is where the energies are going. It's finding ways to incorporate more times for you and really see where that investment leads you, Gemini. This is going to be, things are going to change, and that's not me trying to scare you. That's, if anything, that's me trying to get you excited, because there going to be some big stuff happening on the horizon here. So just get ready, get pumped, and start and enjoy your time. But if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up and share this, Gemini. I feel like this is everyone should definitely be, finding a little time to just, balance out, get that work smart, play smart kind of balance, Gemini, and not even just between work, but between people as well, taking some time for us. So, and then if you haven't already, subscribe, hit that bell button. You get notified when I release videos each week. And then social media, I do have Facebook and Instagram. I'm gonna get better about posting on that stuff eventually, but right now I've been kind of focusing on Insight Timer. It's a free app. I enjoy it. I've been using it for years, and we don't have any kind of partnership or anything, but it's just something that I made a group on there called Zodiac's Raising the Vibration. And it's just a little spot at the moment, to just drop any kind of positive affirmations or encouraging messages that you may come across or that you might think about. And just drop it in the group. I drop one at least once a day, just if you just need a little nugget of positivity to kind of get you through, Sometimes that helps, if we get caught up in like a spiral or something, just something to break up that chain. But I'm going to find a way to post it on the, on the other platforms. I'll do something for Facebook this week, because I'm going to be doing some new stuff on the channel here, just like some little add-ons. I got a new Oracle deck that I want to bust out, and it's going to be some new fresh stuff, Gemini, so I'm excited. But Yeah, and hopefully down the line, what I want to do there as the group grows is there's a little spot where I can start like scheduling meditation groups, and they don't got the Empress here, but I was talking about wanting to do like self-care with the Empress, do like little meditation segments or something like that. So it's all coming into the mix there, but come on, check that out if you have the app, or and send me a thanks for meditating with me. And then lastly, if you have any Cancer in your placements, come check out my other channel, the Chariot and Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We absolutely talk about the High Priestess when she pops up, lunar shenanigans all the time. And all that housekeeping, down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here so I can get you out of here. And there's that sun, Gemini. Oh, so bright, we can hardly see it, but there's the sun. Love it. It's in reverse, but that's okay. And then oh, how lovely. And that's why it's in reverse, Gemini. Just because we got some healing to do. You got the heal card here. And I like that, Gemini. Take some time to heal, and whatever that looks like. This could be, healing that side of us that we've been ignoring, those little things that's like, hey, why don't you go join a choir? Or why don't you go, I don't know, why don't you go build something, or, why don't you pick up this skill? Or why don't we try gardening? Or why don't we try running, doing those things, Gemini, working in little pockets of sunshine into your life. And I find that, Gemini, we may be feeling like, I don't want to say that you feel like you're not having your happiness, but I do feel like that the sun being in reverse, it's time to focus on you, because the sun placement is all about you, It's our vitality, it's our ego, and I feel that, if you take little times, to feed this being. I mean, you're the sign that started off whole pockets of sunshine when I started this channel. So Gemini, if anybody knows how to work with the sun, you almost do it better than Leo. Almost. That's their ruler. I got to be careful. They may come at me. But yeah, Gemini, do some nice things for yourself. Do some fun stuff for yourself, and then just enjoy. And I feel like the more that you raise your vibration, the more that you'll raise others as well. It'll just be like a natural thing. So I'm going to leave that there. I like that. So stay safe out there. And Gemini, raise that vibration through the roof. Because you got the energy for it here. I'm with it. And I will catch you on the next one. Later.